So I kept hearing about Hermes and kept seeing it pop up on my X feed and Instagram, and I wondered, what even is Hermes and why are so many people raving on about it? The first thing that I realized, and I was actually confused at, and I think a lot of people are confused about, is that most people think that Hermes is a direct competitor to Claude or ChatGPT, but that's not the case. It actually sort of sits on top of them. You can run ChatGPT and Claude within Hermes. The best way I can explain it is that imagine Claude or ChatGPT as a super sort of smart consultant. You ask it a question, it gives you an answer, but the problem with that is that they work in their office, not yours. You're renting their time. You don't own them. So if you stop paying for your subscription, or for some odd reason maybe you are banned, you lose access to all of the memory that they have of you. Hermes is instead like a consultant that lives in your home forever, which is obviously a bit odd, but the idea is that you own all of your data and you can use it with Claude or ChatGPT within it, but it keeps a memory of everything you've asked and builds on it over time. It remembers how you like things done. And of course, it can do things for you, like send emails, run tasks, and build things. The great thing about Hermes is that you can actually use it with any AI model you like. You don't actually have to use Claude or ChatGPT. You just have a lot more control. So you can use local AI models or any other sort of AI model that comes along. So there's a few different ways to use Hermes. The easiest way is to download their desktop app. They have a Mac app and a Windows app. What I instantly like about Hermes though, is just the styling. Like when you look at the website, when you look at the colors, when you look at the way things work, it just looks awesome. Like what a great website. They have a very unique design style, and I think it fits with what they're trying to achieve, and of course the name Hermes as well. But yeah, they have a Mac app and a Windows app. That's one of the easiest ways to get started. The other way is to install it on a VPS, a server somewhere in the cloud, so that you can have access to it whenever you like. If you install it on your machine at home, you of course have to leave it on all the time if you want to access it from your phone, which is fine. But if your internet ever drops out or power goes down whilst you're away from home, your computer, your machine will most likely shut down, and then you won't be able to access it again. A VPS of course requires a small monthly fee, but it means you have access to it at all times from anywhere. Hosting actually have a one-click install sort of service, a one-click Hermes agent install. They're not sponsored or anything, but there is an affiliate link. It's just a super easy way to deploy Hermes without having to mess around with trying to set it up yourself. Now, why should you even use Hermes? Why bother with it when you've already got the Claude and ChatGPT app? Why set up your own thing? Well, there's a few reasons. Number one, you own it. This isn't a subscription. You're not renting from a giant company or anything like that. It's open source and it's free. You just run it on a server, on your machine, whatever it might be, and that's just the cost of running it. Your data stays on your machine. So if you use it with a local AI model that runs on your machine, your data can be completely private. Number two, and this is a big reason as to why people use it, it remembers everything. So every time Hermes finishes a task, it writes itself a little note. Here's how I did this, here's what to watch out for. And it saves it. So next time it doesn't start from zero, it just pulls up what it's already learned. The more you use it, the more it becomes yours. Number three is that it works when you're not there. So you can tell it in plain English something like, every morning at 7 a.m, send me a summary of my sales and my emails. And it just does it. It's like having an actual assistant. Number four is that it's pretty much anywhere where you want it to be. So Telegram, WhatsApp, Slack, your email, just whatever way you want to message it, you can figure it out. Number five, you're not locked in. So if you don't like the model, you don't like using Claude, or you don't like using ChatGPT, or you just want to find a different model, use a cheaper model, you can change it, but all of your data stays put. All of the memory, all the context stays put, which makes it very powerful. Now, what's the difference between Hermes and OpenClaw? Well, they're actually both very similar in that they're both open source agents that you self-host. However, the trick with Hermes, and basically its unique selling point, is that it's better at building memory and context about you as the user. But then how is it more useful and more powerful than just using Claude or ChatGPT? Well, I've got some quick use cases. So number one, Claude can't really watch anything. However, Hermes and Claude together can, for example, monitor car listings. So maybe you're watching car listings, waiting for the right one to come up. It can do that for you. And that's exactly what I'm doing right now, because I'm looking for a car that I want to buy. Number two, when chatting with Claude, it does one task at a time, as it's one agent at a time. Using Hermes and Claude together, you can give it a task and then it can split it into subtasks. And then it can also spin up multiple agents to handle those subtasks. Number three, which I think is probably one of the most powerful use cases, is that say you use Notion or Obsidian as a sort of second brain, where you have a lot of information about yourself or your business. Usually with Claude, it will have to constantly sort of pull information whenever you make a request. However, Hermes can instead go through all of your information and build memory and context off of that and then save it. So it doesn't have to fetch that information every time. It just learns you from all of the information you already have. Now, should you even bother? Should you even set it up? I think that totally depends on your use case. And I think for most people, it probably doesn't actually make sense. For most people, it's not worth the hassle because using the Claude app or the ChatGPT app is just very easy and most people aren't doing anything too complex. However, if you care about owning your data, self-hosting, having a lot more control, and having things run it in the background, that's where I feel like Hermes makes the most sense. I'm actually going to be using both. I'm still going to be using my Claude and ChatGPT subscriptions and the apps that I use with them, mainly because they're good for sort of everyday chats and sort of any coding work that I do. And then I'm going to use Hermes for running automations, doing tasks that I don't need to monitor all the time and can have running in the background. Things like sending me alerts, sending me tasks that it's done, automating a task every week that I want it to do. Something like maybe collect my emails from one place, put it in another place, give me information every week at this time or whatever. Just automations that I can have running in the background. That's where Hermes is going to be super powerful. I can have it do things like send me the most popular YouTube videos in my niche so that I can find inspiration for my own videos from the past week. So I can have it hooked up into something like vidIQ, which I have a subscription for. You can get all the data about YouTube, popular YouTube videos, what YouTube videos are doing well, what topics are trending, stuff like that. And then it can just send me all that information every week and sort of give me ideas of what I want to make, what videos I want to make this week. So I actually asked it here, tell me what you can do. And you can see all these different things here: code and debugging, research, automation, files and local systems, GitHub workflows, and just a bunch of other stuff. I actually asked it if it can access stuff on my Mac, and yes, it has access to my Mac. And then I gave it the task, can you go into my downloads folder and delete any Final Cut Pro cache files that are older than 30 days. So basically, I edit all of my videos in Final Cut Pro, and it builds up a lot of cache when you're editing videos. I've sort of automated it in a way where I have all of my cache going to my downloads folder. My downloads folder is almost like a temporary folder. And then I've had Hermes go through that folder, find anything older than 30 days, and then just move it to the trash, move it to the bin. And I can see what it's moved and how much storage that's going to save me. And then I can just go into my trash and just empty it. I can have this automation running every month. So now at the end of every month, it checks the downloads folder, it deletes anything from over 30 days and just does it automatically. Another thing you can do, of course, is send emails. So I use Spark for managing my emails. However, it's saying that Himalaya, which is the email CLI that it has, is a lot more powerful. So I can hook it up there. This is something I'm not too interested in yet. I still do a lot of my emails manually, and I also have other people sort of manage my emails. Emails is a tough one to do, but I think I can figure out some sort of automation in some way. And then vidIQ. So I've asked it, can you see my vidIQ MCP? And I can ask it something like, give me some video ideas for Olia Online based off of my most popular videos and tell me why they would do well. Put that in and let's see what result it gives us. So I can see it's thinking, I can understand how it's thinking, what it's doing. I can see the tools that it's running, and then hopefully it should give me a result. Here we go. It's giving me results now. So I pulled your channel via vidIQ and looked at your most popular uploads and outliers. The clearest winners for Olia Online are digital products, passive income, high income skills, Claude, AI coding, AI tools. And I can see how many views they're getting, the titles and things like that. And then it's also just giving me some ideas, some video ideas that I could do for the channel and why they would do well. And this is really, really powerful, really smart, because it's not just going on YouTube and just searching for anything and everything. It's going off of my past videos and trying to help me come up with ideas based off of those. So now, whenever I'm sort of struggling for ideas, I can have it go through my own channel, go through YouTube and build context off of that and help me find ideas that are going to do well on the channel. Now, my aim isn't to always make videos that get 500,000 views, 1 million views, or even 100,000 views. My aim is to make videos of things that I'm personally interested in. Even if they don't get a ton of views, it doesn't really matter, because I think to myself, if I'm interested, there's always going to be a few other people who are also interested, and it's just a way for me to build trust with my audience. I do like these ideas here though. I use Claude Code to build a digital product in 48 hours, the new high income skills for 2026. I built 3 products with AI, 10 digital products. I mean, I feel like that one I probably don't like as much, because I kind of feel like it's overplayed. And then I tried 100 tools, packaging ideas, packaging angles that I'd lean into. It's funny because like in the perfect world, I hate these sort of titles, things like don't fall behind and whatever, because I feel like it kind of feels a bit trashy, but unfortunately they work, and it's why I use them. You just sort of have to play into the algorithm. Anyway, going a bit off topic there, that's the sort of thing that I'm gonna have Hermes do for me. I can automate this again. I can have it run every week, send me some ideas, and just come up with things that I hadn't thought of. Hopefully that gives you some ideas about Hermes, what it does, what it can do, what you can use it for. I think it's super easy to get going, especially if you use the Mac app and you have it connected to a VPS and whatever. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter and subscribe for more.